Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been evicted from Frogmore Cottage, or as Meghan called it, the cottage. Now, I want to thank you all so much for sending me all of these articles. So many of you sent me these articles and let me know that this is something that I need to speak on. So let's get right into it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Frogmore Cottage, Harry and Meghan requested to vacate the property. Finally, but I thought they already left. I didn't realize they had to actually be evicted. So in their minds, they still had a home there. Now they are unhomed persons in the United Kingdom. A spokesperson for Prince Harry and Meghan confirmed the news that they were evicted. So let's just talk about Frogmore Cottage for a moment, shall we? Frogmore Cottage, a grade 2 listed 10-bedroom property in the grounds of Windsor Castle in Berkshire, was a gift to the royal couple from the late Queen. Harry and Meghan refurbished it, creating one large house from 5 small ones, is what they did. This is the overhaul, although it was paid back in full by the Duke. But how did they even get to the coffers? £2.4 million it was refurbished for. Why did he have to repay it? It doesn't sit well with me. That part doesn't sit well with me. I don't have a problem with the staff living there and the taxpayers, the crown pay, that's a crown staff and the taxpayers contribute to that. And that's a tale as old as time and everyone's used to that. But for these two buffoons to live in there and not even be happy with it to the point where they have to spend £2.4 million to refurbish it and they don't have the money up front, that doesn't sit well with me. But it happened. What they wanted to do was create one large house from 5 small ones so that they could have 10 bedrooms. Beams and floor joints had to be replaced, upgraded electrical substation, new gas and water mains. Okay. Complete redecoration. New floating kitchen floor, whatever that means. What is a floating floor? Floating floors aren't a type of material. They are any type of floor insulation where the floor material floats above the underlayment and subfloor. And these are some benefits of it. Oh, it's cost effective. Well, that's probably why they did it. New eco heating, because Meghan is an environmentalist. That's why she takes private jets. Oh, rewired electrics. Okay, so they brought it up to modern standards, I suppose you could say, for 2.4 million. And this tweet is, of course, complaining about the fact that Britain has 9,000 humans sleeping on the streets and that they should not have foot the bill. The taxpayer should not have foot the bill. Totally understandable. And this is what it looks like. You can see it there. Let's just have a look at this kitchen. Such a staged photo. Look at these two hacks. These talentless hacks. I'm sorry. Trying to appear normal, I guess. They were reportedly told to leave the property by Buckingham Palace in January, days after Harry published his explosive memoir, Spare. This is what the BBC is saying. In the Daily Mail, you see that they say within 24 hours of the Spare being published. And that was because in the Spare, things hit home, like that William had struck him and that he and William begged King Charles not to marry Camilla, who is now Queen Consort. I mean, of course, obviously. But the only thing that kind of I don't get is they never bring up the documentary. Like in all of these articles where it says why the royal family would have been upset about the book, they never bring up the documentary where also I think a lot of shade was thrown. They blamed, speaking of Camilla, they blamed Camilla in the documentary for sacrificing them to the press. And, Meghan's crying the entire time about how the royal family didn't protect her. And in fact, she goes a step further, a bridge too far, I think, to say that she was thrown to the wolves by Camilla. Let me just check something. I don't understand if it is that the ratings are really bad for that docuseries. Harry and Meghan, meaning the documentary, has been popular on Netflix, but the fan reviews are absolutely brutal. Harry and Meghan racked up 81.55 million viewing hours globally within its first 4 days of release, Netflix Tuesday. So, I guess it did well, but they never mention it. I just think it's something they miss mentioning because they said so many things. I found it very egregious as well that they talked about the Commonwealth as if it was slavery, and I didn't like a lot of things. But I just never knew they had to be evicted. But then I thought about the same documentary where I think it was the 5th episode where she goes on and on about how much stuff they have and that they moved over all this stuff and then they still had stuff and they had stuff and they don't have stuff and there's more stuff and there's stuff and stuff and stuff. So I guess they really do have to clear out that Frogmore Cottage still. Harry and Meghan most recently renewed their lease on the property, Frogmore, in May 2022 after Princess Eugenie and her partner, who moved in following the Duke and Duchess 2020 departure, vacated the estate to move to Portugal. So if you remember, during the Queen's funeral, they were staying with Princess Eugenie and her partner, who were in Frogmore Cottage, which made me think that they no longer had rights to it. I had no idea they had a lease that they were renewing the whole time. There was something that she left behind in the Frogmore Cottage. The Sussexes have reportedly started planning how to move their belongings to California, including an ornate Ottoman bench and a chaise lounge from the home they lived in until Megxit and stayed at following the Queen's death last September. So there's some stuff left. I mean, that's what she's always talking about, right? But they're saying that they're going to go on ahead and move Prince Andrew into it because he no longer has any money to maintain the house, the Royal Lodge, where he is living currently with Sarah. And it's a 30-room mansion complete with 98 acres of land and a swimming pool. And he pays a reported £250 per week, but he's resisting moving to Frogmore. He wants to stay there, but he can't afford it. So how can Sarah afford it? I know she has a corgis, but I mean, is dog sitting gonna afford you a 30 room I had to double check, a 30-room mansion? I mean, they're very important animals. I know this, but still. So she gets to stay there, even though he can't afford it because he no longer has a stipend from the crown, obviously, because he's been disavowed because of his Virginia de Griffith case, which he settled. He did not go to court, although he said he wanted his day in court, but he ended up settling. So now he's broke. So he gets to move in there, and this is all just very too much. Like, I don't even think they need to explain themselves as a thing. I mean, they don't even need to explain that they're selling the house from up underneath of them because they no longer work there. This is where they were saying, this is so funny to me. This is where they were trying to say, oh, let me go this way. This is where they were trying to say that they were like fixing up the house themselves. This is Frogmore. They're fixing up the cottage and they're doing everything for the cottage themselves. Like, who bought that? Nobody bought that. £2.4 million, but they're painting. They're such frauds, like, honestly. So, of course, Scobie, since they're so wealthy now, they can now afford to have Scobie be their mouthpiece again. He got his paycheck and he's back out here talking shit. So he says that he heard from a friend close to the couple who says that they thought it was cruel that they have now lost their home in England where they thought they were going to be killed by the paparazzi. Okay. They are now thinking this is a cruel move and that they're completely being cut out of the royal family at this point. This is the seal on the coffin or the nail in the coffin. Yeah, whatever. That's right. If somebody is a cancer in your life, cut them out. I think that we have to give ourselves some credit at this point. The public opinion about the Markles, the Harkles, sorry, is so bad that it's almost like if the royal family doesn't take a stance, it's like they're taking our love for granted. We are writing so hard for the royal family. We don't agree with people being taken advantage of and people being lied about. Honestly, if they don't do something about it, the public opinion about them is now going to start to decline. It gets to that point. I mean, they only just took off their picture and their title from the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. Only just. But they finally did it. Thank goodness they did it finally and everything like that. But it took a long time. So if they don't get them out of the house and they don't start making a stance about them after all these things they've said, and also how the public feels about them, because let's look at that. Yeah, the poll said that Harry's overall US approval rating took a hit by 3 points to -10 since the South Park episode aired. His wife rating now sits at -17. He might not be happy about that. The new figures show a drastic shift in popularity as in December 2021, Harry's rating was up 48 points and Markle's was up 40 compared to now, the poll shows. They're done. They're tired and they're through. At least we are done, tired, and through with them. It's obvious now. And I think that the royal family does have enough staff to look at these things and analyze them and say, okay, we're gonna have to cut them out like a cancer. So let's talk about what Omid thinks. Mr. Scobie said that at least 2 members of the royal family are appalled. He does not name them, but the Sussexes are known to be close to Princess Beatrice and Eugenie. I don't know if there's anybody that's going to ride for them at this point. There was some confusion. I can't remember what it was with Eugenie or Beatrice. But anyway, nobody should trust them. I think that anybody who has trusted them is now been told, don't play with fire. So I don't think anybody from the royal family has actually said anything about that, being appalled. I actually don't think so. I think they're just making that up. Everything's make believe to them, right? Let me see, what exactly did he think he heard? An insider who's friends with Meghan and Harry told Scobie today, because I think it was getting a little close to litigious with Scobie to keep saying that he's talking to Meghan directly. Yeah. So he's now got, another degree of separation. So it's an insider who told him, who's close to them, but it wasn't directly from them. You see how he's trying to protect CYA, we call it. It all feels very final, like a cruel punishment. It's like the family want to cut them out of the picture for good. Harry and Meghan have until early summer to vacate. So basically after the coronation. Well, that's one way of getting them there. Or not getting them there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm just really happy that somebody's seeing some results here. I mean, we are the ones seeing the results here, So I'm just really happy about that. So the jaw-dropping grade 2 listed property, which is the Royal Lodge, where Prince Andrew currently lives, if you care to believe that they have to vacate so that he can move. Both their daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, celebrate their wedding receptions at the family home, and we can see why. Take a look around. So let's have a look around, shall we?
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say a very quick thank you so much for all my wonderful birthday messages. 61, still redheaded and not out.
What? Sorry. Sorry. Clickbait, I guess. It's just her sitting in a Hello Magazine has really gone to the dogs. Leave the clickbaiting for us YouTubers. That's their house, I guess. That's the lodge, and I guess you could see that it's wonderful and beautiful, and you can see all the rooms and all the things in that short video. Now, Backgrid has been hard at work trying to be Meghan Markle's PR/paparazzi/ everything's fine and she's having a wonderful time mouthpiece. And they are the ones that, if you remember, they showed her at Wimbledon. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, enjoys the US Open 2019. And then they also did this shopping thing where they said Meghan Markle enjoys retail therapy. This was also by Backgrid. Her outing comes after she was slammed for saying she felt objectified on Deal or No Deal. So every time she opens her mouth and does something stupid, she gets Backgrid to be like, she's fine. Okay, here she is shopping. Her sense of fashion to me is just so out there. Like, it makes no sense. Look at this outfit, this jumpsuit. Why does it stop there? Why does it stop there? But speaking of Backgrid, they told TMZ that Meghan Markle's doing fine after all of the backlash with the just all the horrendous things they've done in the last few months. There was the docu-series in December, then the book in January, and then just now they got evicted. So today they decided to go on a date. Backgrid filmed it for TMZ to put it out there. Meghan and Harry spotted for the first time out and about on a date. They hit the town for the first time since the Spare release.
Hi, Meghan.
Hi.
Harry, you looking good?
Who is this guy? Who's this guy right here that he's holding his back? Like is this his date? Because where's Meghan? She's not all up underneath of him like she normally is. So who's this guy?
Good, Harry.
Again, what is she wearing? Ankles exposed and a big old winter coat on. So crazy. When they're leaving. In the middle of the rainstorms and weather crisis in LA, they had to make an appearance because they got evicted. This is so stupid. Look, at this point, I can't even say it more than a million times. I've said it too many times already. Why did they say they wanted privacy? This looks like full-on paparazzi Diana times 10. Okay, I thought that's what they didn't want. I thought they were so afraid of that because that's what killed his mom. And it was happening to me and they didn't protect me. Who's protecting you in LA? I mean, seriously, The paparazzi is right up, like right within range of you right now. Close range. Just come out and say, we lied. We actually do want to be famous. We actually really are enjoying this fame. Even though people just hate watching us, we're really enjoying it. So sorry. Or we changed our mind. We actually really love this Hollywood life. You know, I always knew I could get used to it. Being that I tried to achieve it my whole life before meeting Harry. And it's going well. Just come out and say it and stop talking about privacy. And even to put the documentary in December, that is disingenuous to say, even in the documentary, that that's all you wanted. You moved because you just wanted a simple life. That's not right. It's definitely not right anymore. And just come out and say it so we can stop calling you liars. Watch that again. I mean, look at the flash, the cameras.
Hi, Meghan.
This is staged as well, by the way. Right? So stupid, because this is a members only club where you're not even allowed to have your phone in here. It's a members only club, Vicente Bungalows or something in LA, and it's for the A-list top celebrities, so they don't allow any of the customers to have even a cell phone in here because they're not going to be filming all the A-list stars. So this is a very private place. So how then did everyone find out where you were if this is a especially private establishment? I think, to be very honest with you, that in England, she wasn't getting enough paparazzi, and that was her problem. That's what I think it was, and she just twisted it like a psychopath does. That's what I think. I think she wasn't getting enough. She was definitely not getting near what Catherine gets. It wasn't like she was up in the news. Every time you open the newspaper, there's Meghan Markle's face looking like, ah, everybody's after me. Like nothing like that was the case. I think she was actually upset that she didn't get enough because she did complain that she was made to sit inside the house and not get out and about like she wanted to. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Let me see. I remember this picture. No, this is just what is this? This is what she might bring to the coronation if she goes. It's like a camera within her like eye so that she could film everything that goes on. Make more content, you know, because she needs content. That's the only reason why she'd ever come. But I don't even think she's going to come. Let me be real. There would have to be some very seriously tight NDA and also a non-disparaging agreement she'd also have to sign, I think. And even that Frogmore Cottage is only a stone's throw away from William and Kate's residence. I can see how it ain't gonna work out. You know, like they gotta find somewhere else to stay at this point after what they've said. I think that's about it. Until next time, lots of love. Bye.